even with Signs of Portents, to get any damage done here. Next image on the right hand side, he's moved the other ones into base to base with the Striders, knowing that if he does suffer any hits to his flamethrowers, they will explode and put my guys on fire, which will net him some kills in the long run. Next image, Drago has indeed charged Typhon, and this is the move that I was really dreading. He has feeded, he's got Boundless Charge in there as well. He's not got Signs of Portents up though, because Drago's got his own sort of Signs of Portents that he gets to use himself. Vlad didn't have enough focus his turn to cast everything he wanted, but needless to say, Drago hacked into Typhon, killing him, even with excessive healing up, and that was the end of Typhon. What happened next though is that, if you go to the next image, Drago smashing away at the Angelius as well, leaving him with just 4 boxes left or something. So he moves the Greylords in around as well to try and pick off Angelius, but doesn't quite do it. So I was almost ready to concede the game here at this point if I'd lost both beasts, but luckily the Angelius survived. So in my following turn, that meant I could rip into him with all sorts. Next image, it is my next turn, and Thagrosh goes first. He feats, so Thagrosh's feats up. He's put Manifest Destiny as well, so that's going to really help with the melee combat activations on my left-hand flank, particularly the Angelius. On the right-hand side, though, I've cleared out most of the Assault Kommandos, but moving forward with the 4 Raptors that I've got left, and picking away at the Great Bears, managing to successfully kill 2 of them, just leaving 1 guy left. Next image, that's the end of the Raptors activation, so I've just tried to engage the Great Bear with 1 of them just so I can tie him up while I keep the other 3 of them alive, and in the meantime the Strider's picking off a flamethrower but setting himself on fire. Well, in fact both of them on fire at this point. Next image, Thagrosh has successfully hacked up some of the... no, what actually happened there is I have sprayed some of the... and killed some of the Assault Commandos on this side. The Angelius did indeed take out Drago, only barely though, and that was only when he did his feet move at the end of all the activations done. So at this point, the game getting really violent and not much left on the board for either of us. I've got Annyssa in the forest. I've got Thagrosh pulling back because he's suffered tons of damage at this point. In fact, Thagrosh almost killed by the Greylord spraying at him in a previous photo, which I didn't take. So he only barely survived by transferring 1 lot of damage to a nearby Shredder, which actually killed him. The Shredder, that is. Next image, the Raptors moving around here, picking off the Mortar, which has been causing a lot of damage this game, and this will hopefully allow me to press some pressure onto the flag scenario objective, since a lot of the Khador stuff is now gone. It might allow me to take Vlad's attention away from Thagrosh, because at this point Thagrosh is nearly dead, and Vlad is starting to cast Blood of Kings, which is getting very scary. Next image, because Thagrosh has been so badly injured by the Greylord sprays, he has a special ability, which I never thought I'd ever use, which is the one where he creates a lesser Warbeast, because he suffered 5 or more damage points from a single attack. This brings the Shredder back on. Now, I've got to say that this is absolutely crucial, because it means that because Thagrosh has no Warbeast left, he's having to actually either cut himself to cast spells, and he's got only 4 boxes left, but he's got his eThag ability, which gives an extra fury every turn. So as long as the game goes on for long enough, he can then spend his extra fury each turn to heal himself up into a point where he's fresh and able to make a dedicated attack. But by having this extra Warbeast here, I can rile him for 2 every turn, and then leech that back and basically spend that plus the eThag to heal himself 3 damage boxes per turn, thus getting him back into the game if he hides for long enough. Really, really fascinating situation that we are now in. Next image, Vlad, on the other hand, is at full hit points. He's only got a few guys left on the board. He's got his War Dog, he's got a Koldun Lord, and he's got a couple of other guys which I'm quickly managing to kill. Next image, Annyssa really coming into her own at this point. Very powerful model at this point, because she is now switching prey targets almost every turn. The Great Bears are dead. She's picking off all of the Koldun Lords. She's picking off the Mortar on the hill, and really just causing a lot of trouble, and it's going to be very difficult for Vlad to take her out. Next image, the Raptors. I've only got 2 left at this point because I've suffered some shooting and magic damage, but they now move on to the objective and score a point, and this says to my opponent, you better do something about this, otherwise I'm going to win. So Vlad is going to have to respond to these guys and get rid of them, otherwise he's going to be stuck hanging around that objective the whole game. Next image, Thagrosh, because he'd been so badly injured the previous turn and because he's still within threat range of Vlad's spells, essentially flew to the corner of the board and has begun healing itself. The Shredder is rolling itself every turn, and Vlad's, sorry, no, not Vlad, Thagrosh is leeching and healing. But because of what's happening in the center, Vlad can only do like 1 or 2 activations per turn. I've actually sacrificed a Spell Martyr way in the middle there just to try and survive, but Thagrosh, meanwhile, healing, and through the course of the next few turns, which go quite quickly, he goes back to full health, amazingly. Next image, Vlad very angrily moves over to the objective that the Raptors are holding, moves within 4 and uses a spell, I think Razor Wind or whatever it's called, to kill them, or at least one of them, or maybe both of them, can't quite remember. Next image, yes, he does get one of them, and here's the overview of the board. Only Vlad's left on the Khador side. I've got Thagrosh, a Shredder, a single Strider left on the bottom right. I've got Annyssa in the forest to the left, and I've got 1 Raptor at the top. So, turning out to be a very interesting game, but Vlad's got, Blood of Kings up every turn, so there's not much I can do about that. Next image, Vlad even moves over here and kills the last Raptor, so nothing really there to take the objective very quickly, and this game's just going to go on forever until Thagrosh can find a way to kill Vlad. Next image, finally I make the critical move and put Thagrosh behind a wall but within 10 inches of Vlad, but I put the Shredder directly in between Vlad and Thagrosh. Now, Vlad does not have reach, so I made sure that Vlad can't charge past the Shredder and get to a direct line to be able to touch Thagrosh. However, he measured it up, and it looked like he could almost move around there and attack because Blood of Kings gives you +3 movement. What he ended up doing, though, because he knew that he might be out of range there, just checking, he decided to attack the Shredder instead and kill it, and just beckon me to attack him with Blood of Kings up. So it comes down to all or nothing. Next photo, Thagrosh goes in. Now I'm going to have a talk about this because this is probably the most epic game that I've played so far. With just these 2 models locked in combat, whoever wins this little duel is going to win it, undoubtedly. I've actually got the Strider and base to base with the objective, so if Vlad moves here anywhere else, he's going to lose. But I considered 3 options here. Well, in fact, there were 3 options. I only considered 2 of them. Option number 1: attack him with 7 Fury and just boost and buy until Vlad's dead. Problem with that is that I was needing about 11s to hit, even with Mat 7, because his stats are all +3 at this point. Now, that might have worked if I'd been lucky getting 11s every hit, because he's doing power 18 attack, and with that boosted as well, it should kill Vlad. Vlad's only like 3 focus or something, maybe even no focus. Can't quite remember what the situation was. Option number 2, cast Manifest Destiny, which will obviously give Thagrosh a much greater chance of getting those boosted 11s off, and that will save me from wasting Fury on any misses, but I've got to spend 3 Fury to be able to get the spell up, leaving me only 4 to do the actual boosting itself and the damage and buying attacks. Third option, which I did not consider, which somebody pointed out to me after the game, would have been to move the Strider next to Vlad, but not in melee, and then cast Scourge on the Strider, boosting it, hitting him, knocking Vlad down, then charging, and just boosting the attacks and whatever and killing him that way. That's probably what I could have done, but again, I may even have missed the Strider with that attack. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I didn't really remember to do that. Tell you what, guys, what I did do. I decided to go with the Manifest Destiny approach. It was about 11:30 at night at this point. I really wanted to get home. I would have been playing for 2 hours solid, and it was just my first intuition. Can't remember, can't really say for sure what would have been best, but I'll tell you what happened. First attack goes in, needs an 11. I roll 4 dice, remove the lowest. It's not an 11, so it misses with the power 18 big glaive attack, the Rapture. Attack with the Claw, power 14, boost to hit. It does hit. Boost damage. Vlad takes a whole ton of damage, about 2/3 of his hit points. He's down to, I can't remember what it was, something like 9 boxes left. So at this point, I can really only afford to buy 1 more attack and boost it. In fact, no, what actually happened here is I bought the last attack and boosted the hit, but I couldn't boost damage. It did hit. Rolled up the dice. I get 3 dice because of Manifest Destiny. 2 of them are 4s, one of them is like a 2, I remove the 2, it's power plus strength 14 plus 8, that's something like 22, turned out to be just enough to kill Vlad. Can't remember whether these were the actual numbers that came up in the game. The only thing that I remember is that Thagrosh did it. He finally killed Vlad, even with Blood of Kings up, and scored me the victory. So, very exciting game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I was on the edge of my seat towards the end of this and really just had a fun time, and I was just fascinated by the epic situation where Thagrosh almost got assassinated but managed to use his eThag and his blood-spawned Shredder to heal himself back into the game and finally track pVlad down and do it himself in combat, as a combat caster should. And eVlad always strikes me as, eThagrosh always strikes me as a combat caster just by the way he looks, even though he probably isn't really, all things considered, because he's better off at spell assassinations, I would say. But really awesome game. Hope you guys had a fun time with this one.